Hello everyone, and welcome to another Ethan Shapiro YouTube video. So when it comes time to sell your home, there's going to be a lot running through your head. Maybe you've got a new job, or you're excited to have your first child, or maybe your life is completely falling apart and you just want to start fresh somewhere else. Either way, you've come to the decision that the time to sell is now, and you're thinking to yourself, what's the deal with these real estate agents? I don't know, but I do know. So I want to shatter some mysteries and misconceptions behind choosing the right real estate agent. So let's get into it. I've heard people say stuff like, oh, my neighbor hired an agent last year to sell her house. This lady gave away $20,000 of her sweet equity for some agent to sit around twirling his thumbs for 2 months until it came time to collect that commission check. Now, unfortunately, there is a lot of this sentiment swirling around the real estate sphere, and I think this is the case for two primary reasons. Number one, there's a lot of bad agents out there. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth the industry or any of my lovely competitors, but some agents will just not put in the level of effort that their clients want and deserve. So the second reason for this is that most people just don't understand what it is a real estate agent actually does for work. Besides, of course, they know there's something to do with houses and selling houses, but I'd like to explain exactly what a real estate agent's kind of objective is every day. And that is to close a deal and do anything they can to close that deal. Now, I know this might sound a bit sleazy and cutthroat, and it certainly can be, but you'll find that the most successful real estate agents are actually the least sleazy and most personable. These successful agents view your clients for what they really are: human beings who need help navigating the most stressful financial transaction of their adult lives. So as a real estate agent, you're always trying to close deals. And closing just means a successful completion of a transaction in its entirety. Let's try and get some good lighting here. Good agents are always trying to close two types of deals: clients and transactions. As a real estate agent, I'm spending a lot of my time kind of doing this, convincing you that I'm the best choice to sell your home. And when I do convince you that I am your best choice and we sign that agency contract, that is me closing on one out of the two kinds of transactions that are the entirety of my job. So if you're following this thus far, half of a real estate agent's job is convincing customers that he or she is the best choice to represent them on their home sale, and the other half is, well, the stuff that you're actually interested in. The other half of a real estate agent's job is to close real estate transactions. So this means that both a buyer and a seller have done everything that they need to do to legally transfer a specified asset, usually a home, from one party to another. Offer, acceptance, inspection, appraisal, negotiation, transfer of title, exchange of funds. A successful closing would be everything done. So in nearly every real estate transaction, there are four parties: a seller, a buyer, an agent who represents the seller, and an agent who represents the buyer. So the seller's agent is commonly referred to as the listing agent, and the one who represents the interests of the buyer is commonly known as the buyer's agent. Today I'm going to be focusing on how to choose the right seller's or listing agent. So now that you understand the objective of every real estate agent, and you know who's involved in the transactions, and you know that everyone wants to close the deal because without a closing nobody's happy, what about you? What do you care? Why do you care? What are you watching this video for? What's your objective when you list your house? So as a seller, yes, you want the deal to close, we discussed that, but oftentimes there are two other primary objectives an individual looking to sell their home maintains. You want your home to sell for the highest price and in the fastest time possible, or at least with the least amount of stress. So how can you ensure that your agent is going to meet these primary concerns of yours? Well, now that all of this dense introduction is out of the way and I'm learning how to use my selfie stick, I would like to introduce to you from the beautiful 29th Street Mall the 5 golden skills of a real estate agent. Let's get into it. Now, these 5 golden skills are marketing, negotiation, knowledge, communication, and compatibility. Now, as far as marketing goes, you want to make sure that you hire an agent who has superb advertising skills. You want your house to be exposed to as many qualified buyers as possible. I actually have an entire 10-minute video outlining everything I, as climate change realtor and distinguished broker here with Coldwell Banker, will do to market your home. Link to that video here. But yeah, your real estate agent must do everything he or she can to make sure that your home gets as much exposure as possible. We live in a world with very little focus and very short attention spans. Marketing has never been a more essential part of the home sales process. Now that one was pretty obvious, but the second skill every single successful real estate agent has is the ability to negotiate. So like it or not, when it comes to real estate, everything is up for negotiation. The listing price, the closing date, who pays for what, who doesn't want to pay for what, and how this is all going to get done and inevitably close. Now, keep in mind that every transaction, in every transaction, there are two competing parties. You, the seller, who wants to sell your home for the highest price, with the least amount of stress, of course, and the buyer, who wants to buy the home for the lowest price, hopefully with the least amount of stress and probably least amount of time as well. So hopefully an overlapping of priorities is what allows the deal to close. But you can see how conflicts of interest arise from the seller wanting to sell high and the buyer wanting to buy low. It's just the way this thing goes. So this is why it's absolutely essential you hire an agent who knows how to negotiate, see things from other people's perspectives, and just understand what the other side of the field is thinking when they make a decision. When the buyer might say, for example, "I'm buying this house for 500 grand. You really need to pick up the dog poop in the backyard, take down that ugly treehouse, and give me $5,000 I want back for that ugly, horrible yellow deck." So some people have a sixth sense for the art of the deal, and others just don't. It's that plain and simple. So that's why it's so important that you pick the right agent who knows how to negotiate. Now, the third skill that every successful real estate agent should be taken extremely seriously. You want your agent to have knowledge of the transaction process. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to real estate transactions, and you want your agent to know every step, turn, and barrier when it comes to real estate. Fact of the matter is, if your agent can walk you through the full transaction process, video coming soon, he or she is probably just as knowledgeable about real estate sales as someone who has been doing this for 30 years or more. What really sets agents apart from one another are the two skills which I will discuss now. One very, very powerful word here: communication. You want your agent to be your right-hand man or woman. If you speak with your agent and you can't understand a word they're saying because they speak too fast or just don't speak confidently enough for you to just understand what they're saying, or it just doesn't compute, they're probably not going to be too much help throughout the transaction process. A great agent makes it clear from the get-go that he or she is your fiduciary and is available to you for all questions and concerns. Good agents keep you in the loop 100% of the time. They show a buyer your home, you know. Your ad gets 1,000 clicks on the MLS, you know. Your home gets an offer on it, you bet your sweet commission check you better know. The right agent asks you how you would prefer to communicate, how often, and just gets a feel for the way you like to talk business. He or she matches your style and communicates effectively in a way that allows you to understand the very many happenings of the real estate game. Now, speaking of matching your style, in my opinion, the most important skill of a real estate agent isn't even a skill at all. It's their personality. If you interview an agent and right away you get the feeling that they're just a jerk who doesn't care about anything but themselves, they're probably not the best person to sign a contract with, guaranteeing a relationship of frequent contact for at least a month, if not 6 or 3, who knows. You want to find a real estate agent that is compatible with you and your personality. If you like a loud, dominant person, work with a loud, dominant agent. If you like a quiet and conservative person, then likewise. This is not just some guy you hire to fix the plumbing. This is a trusted advisor you want to be certain has your very best interests at heart. Oftentimes, after meeting someone, you get a gut feeling about them. Sometimes people aren't as bad as they seem, don't get me wrong, but oftentimes you can trust your gut. If someone rubs you the wrong way, do not sign a contract with them. Your brain and your gut will be bothering you all the way to the closing table, if you even make it there. Make sure your agent is compatible with you as a person. A great agent is friendly, adaptable, and witty. Take your pick. Alright, y'all. So I hope this video has been helpful and I'll provide little bits of knowledge here, and that I hope that you have some informed information on how to choose the right real estate agent. I'd love to try and get the mountains in this shot, but it's just bad angling. Here we go. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate your time. I look forward to working with you, and let's save the world together. Woo!